This inauguration represents a significant milestone in the federal government's deliberate and strategic commitment to deepening national digital literacy, strengthening human capacity development.
Be architects of technology, not just consumers, Nigeria tells youth as it unveils strategy on digital skills.
I was highly impressed by seeing the compliance in our public schools.
And coast is clear for learning. Bauchi reopens schools after security threats. Aviation has been in the news last year. What were the reasons? Correspondent looks at the sector in 2025. Good evening and welcome to the Network News. I am Olajide Bello. Joining me from Lagos is Adiola Komi Akere. And on business news, Benny, what do you have for us tonight?
Well, sharing news for investors in Nigeria's capital market. For the very first time since last year to this new year, investors are going home with a whooping 1.87 trillion naira. We'll give you details in the course of the bulletin.
All right, many thanks, Benny. And Francisca Bilal will be our host on sport. Francisca, many Nigerians were expecting us to play Congo DR, but now it's the Foxes of Algeria at the quarterfinals. What should we expect?
Of course, that is football for you. The Super Eagles of Nigeria will face Algeria in the quarterfinals on Saturday, and we should expect more actions from the Super Eagles because they have kept clean sheets all through the tournament.
All right, many thanks, Francisca. And you remember you can watch this broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen. Now, in an era where software and digital skills drive the global economy, Nigeria is making a strategic move to ensure its youth are not just consumers of technology, but its architects. Shehu Mohammed Dati reports that this is coming at the inauguration of the Digital Skills Implementation Committee by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume.
The inauguration of the Joint Implementation Committee on Digital Skills has brought together stakeholders with a clear goal to raise awareness about the importance of digital literacy in national development, provide hands-on training in basic digital tools, online safety, and digital entrepreneurship.
This inauguration represents a significant milestone in the federal government's deliberate and strategic commitment to deepening national digital literacy, strengthening human capacity development, and promoting inclusive digital transformation in line with national development priorities. The Joint Implementation Committee is established to give practical effect to the strategic collaboration between the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation and the Clergy World Cooperative Society Limited.
While the committee's roadmap is underway, the focus remains firmly on inclusivity, ensuring young Nigerians across the 6 geopolitical zones are not left out of the digital revolution.
For the digital literacy, the target is to reach to 1 million Nigerians across all the 36 states and FCT. And similarly, the Artisan project is also targeted at reaching all of them.
As the committee begins its work, the eyes of millions of young Nigerians are watching. They are not looking for a committee. They are looking for a future where their digital skills become their greatest currency. In Abuja, I'm Shehu Mohammed Dati, NTA News.
And reports just filtering in has it that President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of Dr. Olugbemisola Titilayo Odushote as the Director General of the Nigerian Law School for a 4-year term. Currently, the Deputy Director General and head of the Lagos campus, she will become the first woman to lead the institution since its establishment in 1962. A statement through the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, says the tenure of the current Director General, Professor Issa Hayatu Shiroma, has expired after 8 years of service. The Chief of the Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shuaibu, has assured of the deployment of more combat-ready troops across theaters of operations in Niger State and the country to stem the surge of attacks by terrorists. The Army Chief said this while declaring open the annual conference organized by Training and Doctrine Command, Nigerian Army. Dauda Mohammed reports.
The visit to Mina, headquarters of Training and Doctrine Command, by Chief of the Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shuaibu, to declare open the annual conference of the senior think tank responsible for developing, overseeing training, command and research, is also expected to serve as a morale booster to officers and men in the area. The critical nexus between sound doctrine and success in operations is expected to be improved after the conference.
For the recent wave of attacks in Niger State, you know that the landmass of Niger State is one of the largest we have. And we are looking at it and how we are going to, do various deployments just to curtail those waves of attacks. In doing that, we'll be looking at our deployments here in Niger State and how we can either have a troop surge or we can leverage various technology inputs to how it will impact positively on the various operations that the troops down here are conducting.
The threat landscape confronting our nation is increasingly dynamic and adaptive, requiring an army that is equally agile, forward-looking, and doctrinally grounded.
It is hoped that the outcome of this conference by the Training and Doctrine Command, Nigerian Army, and the presence of the Chief of the Army Staff will improve the operational framework to overcome current security challenges across not just Niger State, but Nigeria as a whole. The Chief of the Army Staff was also at the uphill residences of former military President General Ibrahim Babangida and former Head of State General Abdusalami Abubakar. Dauda Mohammed, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security Aliu Sabi Abdullahi has sympathized with Borno victims after the deadly attack on the community in Niger State. He expressed deep sorrow over the brutal terrorist attack on Kaswandaji rural communities, which claimed 42 lives just 3 days into the new year. Urging resilience among Borno residents, he reassured President Tinubu's commitment to pursuing and prosecuting those responsible for the heinous crimes. And the Police Service Commission has issued a stern warning to cyber cafes and recruitment agents allegedly extorting applicants seeking to enlist into the Nigeria Police Force. A statement by the Commission says disturbing reports of illegal charges being demanded by some cyber cafes and middlemen who falsely claim that the money is shared with the Commission and other government agencies is false. The PSC stressed that police recruitment is free and prospective applicants should avoid third-party handlers and personally submit their applications through the official portal www.mpfapplication.psc.gov.ng to prevent falling victims to fraudsters. Now let's head to the aviation sector, where the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development had a remarkable year in 2025, achieving significant milestones in its quest to reposition Nigeria's aviation sector to world-class standards. Aliu Kabir takes a look at the major happenings in the sector within the year in review.
The Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development has recorded several achievements in 2025, apart from upgrading facilities across major airports in the country and implementing decisive reforms to position the sector to world-class standards. The ministry also signed numerous memoranda to facilitate international air navigation, including a landmark bilateral and air service agreement, BASA, between Nigeria and Brazil, which opened up direct flights between the two countries. Still within the year under review, the ministry successfully hosted the first ever Nigerian International Air Show, which coincided with Nigeria's centenary celebration of the first aircraft landing in Kano City in 1925.
This air show is anchored on the vision of His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFRO, for a modern, safe, secure, globally competitive aviation industry.
The ministry also launched the One Government Enterprise Content Management System, OneGov ECMS, digitizing its operations, aligning with the federal government's December 31st, 2025 deadline. Agencies under the ministry, like the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority (NCAA), achieved significant milestones, including introducing the MPIC platform and digital transformation initiatives to fast-track pilot licensing and medical certification processes.
In all of this we are doing, it's going to make everything seamless for the stakeholders. What takes normally 1 week, 2 weeks, sometimes 1 month to get the license out, it's just going to take a few minutes.
In an effort to boost revenue generation and improve service delivery, the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria (FAN) launched cashless payment for all Lagos and Abuja airports transactions, operational at its designated revenue points, including access gates, car parks, protocols, and VIP lounges. Still within their under review, the ministry organized a workshop that provided players in the industry with a deeper understanding of the challenges and opportunities in air navigation and how the integration of advanced drone technology is transforming the industry for safe and secure air operations.
This administration has deemed it necessary to acquire its own equipment. So it's not that it took us long. This drone is a new initiative.
On August 5th, 2025, Ainde Marshal, popularly known as Com1, disrupted a value jet flight at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, by attempting to board with a flask containing liquid beyond the permissible size. It was initially banned from flying for 6 months, but later reduced to 1 month by the minister. Com1 was also appointed as an ambassador for airport security protocols. Similarly, on August 10, 2025, Comfort Emerson was involved in an altercation with IBOM Air crew members over phone issues, leading to her arrest and detention at Kirikiri Correctional Center. IBOM Air imposed a lifetime flying ban on her, but later, minister withdrew the ban and criminal charges. 2025, there were several runway skid incidents within there, including January 29 involving Max Air Boeing 737, which skidded off Kano Airport runway with 59 passengers on board, with no casualties. On July 13, Air Peace Boeing 737 skidded off Port Harcourt runway with no injuries reported. Also on October 22, Dana Air skidded off Port Harcourt runway with 44 passengers and 6 crew members on board with no injuries. Another issue of concern was the skyrocketing air ticket prices, especially during the festive season, with one-way tickets on domestic routes more than doubling, and some routes crossing the 300,000 naira threshold. For example, Lagos to Asaba cost about 337,000 naira, while Lagos to Enugu cost about 335,000 naira. The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority (NCAA) attribute the hike to market forces. Going forward in 2026, Minister Festus Keyamo says the ministry will continue to build on its achievements towards improving air safety in Nigeria in line with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration priorities. And that's aviation sector in 2025. I'm Aliu Kabir, NTNT.
Many thanks, Aliu Kabir. You're watching the Network News. More reports when we return. Thanks for being there. Governor Babagana Umar Zulum says existing institutional mechanisms will be strengthened to ensure the sustainability and proper maintenance of projects being executed by the Borno State government. The governor made this known while inspecting several ongoing projects in Gubio and Magumeri local government areas. Muhammad Goni reports.
As part of his engagement in Gubio, Professor Zulum inspected the General Hospital Gubio, where work has reached an advanced stage of completion. The governor also reiterated his earlier approval of 100% salary increase for medical doctors willing to work in hard-to-reach communities, as well as a 40% increase.
Human resources for health is one of our nightmares in this administration. On investigation, I found out that INGO's facilities are being manned by medical doctors. Why? Because of the salaries. INGOs pay better than state government salaries.
Other projects inspected include Government Day Secondary School Gubio, one of the designated centers of excellence in northern Borno, where the governor assured of adequate support, including provision of additional laboratories to ensure a smooth take-off of the school. He also inspected the ongoing construction of Ruga settlement, where he expressed dissatisfaction with the slow pace of work. Briefing newsmen, Governor Zulum said the visit was aimed at interfacing with security personnel to address prevailing security challenges in the area, in addition to inauguration of key projects in Gubio and Magumeri. At Magumeri, the governor inaugurated the judge's residence and newly constructed structures at the Central Primary School in Magumeri, facilitated by the member representing the area at the National Assembly. Also inaugurated was the Shehu of Borno's Lodge, located within the residence of the district head of Magumeri. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Bauchi state government reassures the public of enhanced security as all public, private and tertiary schools in the state reopens following a month-long closure due to security concerns. Students are being encouraged to resume classes promptly. Muazu Hassan reports.
In November 2025, Bauchi state government closed all schools in the state due to security concerns. After 6 weeks, the schools have now been reopened, with Education Commissioner Dr. Mohammed Lawan remains monitoring the reopening, where he praises the turnout of teachers and students.
I was highly impressed by seeing the compliance in our public schools. Our staffs are ready. They look so agile, so determined, so energetic, and so willing to give their best to our students.
Principals expressed confidence in the government's safety measures.
With the Ministry of Education, the government is there, and also my team.
Our student has been informed for the commencement of the last term examination that we're supposed to have taken it, that we are going to start tomorrow, hoping to end on or before next Monday. Then we now continue with the second time proper.
All federal, state and private schools are now open, resuming their full academic activities. In Bauchi, Muaz Hassan, NTA News.
Talking climate matters, Yobe State has developed a climate change policy to serve as a guiding principle for decision-making, planning, implementation and monitoring of all climate-related actions in the state. Yunusa Suleiman reports.
The 60-page policy document developed through extensive engagement with key stakeholders across multiple sectors provides the state with a sense of direction and a legal and institutional framework for addressing climate change challenges and other related issues. Governor Memala Buni commended the Yobe State Agro-Climatic Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscapes Agriculture Project for its role in formulating the policy and its relentless efforts to tackle climate change impacts on multiple fronts.
It is all about teamwork, and teamwork is all about coming together, give everyone free hand, let him showcase his potential. Speed of accomplishment can only be achieved through synergy and through collaboration.
What the policy document seeks to achieve is that at every level of government, from the state government to local government level, climate change, community representatives within local government council, there should be a climate change committee, and also in each of the sectors, there should be a climate change officer for the policy to be implemented fully.
Let me most importantly commend your effort, your hand-holding, and support under CRM. The Community Development Fund gave about $2.5 million and were distributed across the 17 local governments.
For development partners interested in fighting climate change-related issues, the policy document will serve as a compass for intervention. In Damaturu, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
Now to health matters, the Katsina state government has taken delivery of 15 brand new intensive care emergency ambulances to strengthen healthcare delivery and emergency response across the state. Awal Haliru reports.
The ambulances procured under the State Emergency Medical Services and Ambulance System are equipped with modern life support equipment, including oxygen units, patient monitors and resuscitation facilities to handle critical emergencies and save lives. Chief of Staff Government House Abdulkadir Muhammad Nasser, who received the vehicles, described the development as another fulfilled promise of the administration. The ambulances will operate 24 hours daily and will be stationed along highways, within communities and at major health facilities to ensure rapid response to emergencies and save lives.
Governor Dukoreda, you have provided another marking scheme, because this is a marking scheme in governance. You say one thing and you do exactly what you say.
A coordinated management framework involving relevant authorities will ensure effective deployment and supervision as the ambulances are to be rolled out in phases across the state. In Katsina, Awal Haliru, NTA News.
And the Federal Capital Territory Administration, through the Department of Child Development, has carried out a rescue and monitoring operation involving adopted children within the FCT, some of whom were reportedly brought in from Benue State. This is as it intensifies efforts to protect vulnerable children. Hawa Gimba takes it up from here.
Federal Capital Territory Administration has sealed an orphanage in Kagini, Buari Area Council, following allegations of illegal child movement and adoption. The action followed a joint rescue operation aimed at protecting vulnerable children. The Divine Hope Orphanage and Less Privileged Home was shut down after preliminary investigations by the Child Development Department of the FCT Women Affairs Secretariat revealed suspected irregularities in the care, movement, and adoption of children. Authorities say the proprietress, Mrs. Grace Ebele Chibuzo, allegedly absconded with unspecified number of children to an unknown location without official approval.
This home is under investigation. We have invited her severally. She refused to turn up. And we're calling on the resident of the FCT or anyone that knows her to tell her to report at the Child Development Department, FCT Women Affairs Secretariat.
The facility has been sealed amid findings of alleged collaboration. The FCT administration assured the public that efforts are ongoing to locate the missing children and apprehend all suspects. It also called on residents with useful information to report to security agencies or the FCT Child Development Department, while reiterating its commitment to safeguarding child rights across the territory. Hawagimba, NTA News.
Over now to our Center of Excellence, where Adiola Komiakari is standing by with stories making the rounds from that zone. Good evening, Adiola. Over to you.
Thank you for joining us in Lagos. Nigerians need to take time to understand the new tax reform, consult professionals when necessary, and avoid non-compliance to prevent financial difficulties. Tax experts gave this guidance while explaining the new tax regime. Larry Bilei has the details.
One of the landmark decisions of the present administration is the new tax regime, initiated to consolidate and overhaul existing tax laws, simplify administration, widen the tax net, and improve revenue collection. Key changes for individuals and businesses include personal income tax, which has tax exemption for low earners and a more progressive tax rates. Gains from the disposal of digital or virtual assets like cryptocurrencies is now subject to capital gains tax. Increased transparency, accountability, where tax authority will have broader powers to recover unpaid taxes.
It's going to encourage economic development, and vis-a-vis the tax to GDP ratio is going to be enhanced if given the necessary support.
Don't forget that not until 2019, when we have the Finance Act, that was when we were able to have a lot of streamlining activities. But with the new tax law, if we have the proper implementation of it, it will definitely contribute to the growth of the country, and every citizen will definitely benefit from it.
Other features include new tax authority. The Nigerian Revenue Service, NRS, replaces the FIRS. The regime mandates TIN usage, that is TIN, for transactions and requires e-invoicing and real-time VAT reporting for registered businesses. Also, zero-rated essential goods and services remain exempted from VAT. Experts are urging taxpayers to review their financial status so they can stay informed and compliant on the new tax regime. In Lagos, Larry Bilayi, NTA News.
Media professionals from the academy are conversant for proper regulation of a journalism profession to reduce quackery and redefine parameters for practice to promote lawful conduct. The report.
In a world driven by an avalanche of media content circulating the social media space, particularly where user-generated content, blogs and various individuals assume the role of journalists, some media professionals from the nation's ivory tower are calling for policies to standardize and regulate the field.
Journalists are people who have undergone either on the job training or formal training. Many of the so-called social media people are not journalists. They are information processors. To say the least, I call them information traffickers. Because you just go on the radio or television, you make some presenter. You are a radio or television presenter. You are not a journalist. But there are some journalists who are also presenters on radio or television. When you see them, you know them. You see the difference, how they handle issues. You see how they balance issues. You see how they deal themselves out of the deal. So journalists are known by their performance.
We don't want to be regulated by government. And meanwhile, we are not capable of regulating ourselves. So that's the problem with journalism in Nigeria. If we're capable, if we had developed this machinery right from the very beginning, like the law did, like medicine did, we developed the mechanism to regulate and control ourselves. Yes, and Nigeria has been on. We have not been able to do that.
Journalists emphasize that their profession is a noble one that commands global respect and recognition, while urging stakeholders to uphold ethical practices. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Lagos. The network news will continue with Olajide in Abuja after the break.
Many thanks for being there. The year 2025 ushered in a notable infrastructure development in the Federal Capital Territory under the leadership of the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, with the construction of key roads and interchanges across strategic districts. Traffic and connectivity within the nation's capital have significantly improved. Odnoze Yakubu reports on the 2025 infrastructure drive of the FCT administration.
The outer southern expressway from the Villa roundabout to the Area 1 roundabout has been completed and open for motoring public. This is with the two interchanges connecting Asokoro and other neighboring districts. Some other network of routes which have positive impacts on the lives of the residents have also been completed and inaugurated within the city center and satellite towns in the year under review. This development, residents believe, has not only changed the narratives on infrastructure development, but has also improved the economic potentials of the city. Residents, however, commend President Bola Tinubu for supporting the FCT administration in making Abuja a model city. Away from the road projects and in a bid to ensure eco-friendly transportation system, the Nyesom Wike-led administration constructed and inaugurated bus terminals in Mabushi and Kubo, with one at the Central Business District still under construction. Although the terminals are yet to begin operation, stakeholders applaud their provision saying it is a welcome development. The education sector also received attention with the rehabilitation of no fewer than 100 schools across the Federal Capital Territory to enhance the conducive learning environment for the pupils and students. Also in the outgoing year, the FCT administration, in line with the renewed hope agenda of the president, began a process of providing potable water to the residents. This is as the administration flag off greater Abuja water supply projects within the city center and suburbs. To ensure better illumination of the city at night, the Operation Light Up Abuja project was initiated, with the impact already being felt, with replacement of the conventional lights with the solar-powered street lights within the nooks and crannies of the city. As we gear up in 2026, more impactful projects await the residents of the territory, as stakeholders reaffirm that FCT is the model and face of the Renewed Hope initiative of President Bola Tinubu's administration, as Abuja continues to remain work in progress. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
Now let's do some business with Benny Adams. Benny?
Thank you, Olajide. And on business, we open with news from the ongoing Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, United States of America, where the CEO of NVIDIA, Jensen Huang, officially declared that the ChatGPT moment for physical AI has arrived, moving artificial intelligence from digital screens to physical machines, a new family of open-source AI models designed specifically for autonomous vehicles and robots. AI that reasons.
Wherever the universe has information, wherever the universe has structure, we could teach a large language model, a form of language model, to go understand that information, to understand its representation, and to turn that into an AI. One of the biggest, most important one is physical AI. AIs that understand the laws of nature.
Now looking at the energy markets at this time, oil prices fell on Tuesday on expectations of ample global supply amid weak demand, just as the U.S. oil companies gain after seizure of Venezuela's Maduro. Let's take a look at prices of other commodities around the globe at this time. And now to stocks market. Investors in Nigeria's capital market today went home with a whopping 1.87 trillion naira, with market capitalization closing at 101.81 trillion naira, exceeding the 100 trillion naira mark. This is driven by sustained interest in more than 50 equities, a total of 758.933 million shares in 54,199 deals, corresponding to a market value of 19.834 billion were traded. Today's data shows 9% improvement in volume, 7% improvement in turnover, but 4% decline in deals. And looking at the numbers, South Africa closed today with an improved ratings of 1.83%, talking about 110,739.83 basis points. An impressive outcome compared to the transaction as of yesterday. And looking at Tunisia Tune Index, that is the only top three in Africa that actually dipped with 0.39% to close at 13,172.11 basis points. That is it on business at this time. Olajide, you can take it from here.
Many thanks, Benny. And away from business, let's talk some politics. The leadership of the PDP-led Kabiru Tanimu Turaki has met with former President Goodluck Jonathan towards finding solutions to the party's lingering leadership crisis. Timothy Yusuf reports.
One may wonder why this visit to former President Goodluck Jonathan by the Kabiru Turaki-led PDP National Working Committee. He remains a card-carrying member of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. The meeting held behind closed door. At the end, factional chairman of the PDP, Kabiru Tanimu Turaki SAN, explained reasons for the visit.
We briefed him on the state of the party, the challenges, the prospects.
Turaki maintains that the November 15 to 16, 2025 elective national convention that produced their national working committee followed due process in line with the party constitution and the Electoral Act. He also announced same for the Ekiti and Osun states governorship primary elections.
We will sit on a round table with those that are willing and genuinely interested in reconciliation. We'll reconcile and then move together as one big PDP family.
The meeting was attended by some founding members of the party, including former governor of Niger State, Muazu Babangida Aliyu, former Minister of Information, Professor Jerry Kana, among others. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Another break beckons. The news continues in a moment. Glad to know you're still there. Up next is Global Update. All right, let's shift from global and join Francisca for sport updates. Francisca.
You're largely welcome to Sports Update. Now, Adil Bulbina struck a dramatic winner in the 119th minute of extra time as the Desert Warriors edged past a relentless Congo DR to book a place in the quarterfinals. It marks their first appearance at this stage since lifting the trophy in 2019 and set up a mouth-watering clash against Nigeria's Super Eagles on Saturday. Ahead of the showdown, former Super Eagles international Noza Egiabo expresses confidence and optimism, maintaining that the team has the quality, experience and resilience needed to tame the Algerian side.
Algeria, finally Algeria through to the quarterfinal, playing against Nigeria. It's going to be a massive game. And, this Algeria team, they are not that special, man. I see lapses there, you understand? I see lapses that we can capitalize upon. I think their back line, they have very slow center backs. Even the midfielders are not that quick. You understand? They are an okay team. And I think if we go out there and focus, come out with determination, I think we'll silence this Algeria. And we have to go out there for a revenge because we're not going to allow what happened in the last Nations Cup to happen again. And my name is Nosa Igebo. Thank you.
Well, joining me via Zoom from Morocco to discuss more about Super Eagles' performance so far in the African Cup of Nations is the NFF General Secretary Mohamed Sanusi. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's head straight to the question. Chile night in versus Nigeria beats Mozambique 4-0. However, the incident between Victor Osimhen and Ademola Lookman has been subjected to different misinterpretation. Can you tell us what truly happened?
Well, I think the issue is being over-exaggerated. Truly, there was exchange of words between the two legends, the two players, but I can tell you that the issue has been put at the back of their minds. They are united. They had their meeting and everything has been resolved. It was a result of, Osimhen expecting a pass and he did not get the pass and he got annoyed. Now, what I want Nigerians to understand is that when you ask experts in exercise physiology, they will tell you that when a person is into physical activity, that is what is called adrenaline. Adrenaline is a ductile gland that pours something into the body that makes one to be annoyed. And so when you are doing physical activity, the physiological phenomenon produced by the adrenaline sometimes triggers annoyance. So we should be patient with players when we see them getting annoyance. It differs from person to person, but I can tell you that there is no cause for alarm. The players are united. They had their meeting, and they have resolved that they are going to work to make sure that they make Nigeria proud.
Now, is it true that Victor Osimhen threatened to leave the team, and how is he doing at the moment? He's loved by Nigerians.
There was nothing like a threat coming from Victor Osimhen. As I said, Victor Osimhen was not happy that he was expecting balls two times, but he did not get it. Remember, the same person gave him balls 2 times and he scored. So it is expected that when a player is very, annoyed, sometimes he acts in a manner that ordinarily he shouldn't have acted like that because of what I told you about the production of adrenaline that makes people to be annoyed. It differs from person to person. But I can tell you that both Osimhen, Lukman, and all the other players are united and they are focused on the next match.
Of course, Nigeria will play Algeria on Saturday in the quarterfinals. Is there any need for Nigerians to be worried?
There is nothing to worry about. I was praying that we meet DR Congo so that we can, show them the stuff we are made of, considering our current form and the commitments of the players. But that was not to be. We got Algeria, and I can tell you that you too, if you have been looking at what has been happening, you will know that we are ready for any team, any day, any time.
Of course, 3 more victories and Nigeria will be champions in Africa again. Many are still hurting from the 1-0 defeat by DR Congo in the previous tournament. For you, what are your assurances to Nigerians out there?
Well, you know that our own is to create enabling environment as administrators, and that is what we have been doing. We have been working assiduously with the federal government of Nigeria, the National Sports Commission, the president, the chairman of the National Sports Commission, and the DG of the National Sports Commission. All of us have been putting our hand in deck to make sure that we create that enabling environment. The coaches are doing their own. So the coaches are charged with the responsibility of technique and tactics, and that's what they are doing. But you know that you can only take a horse to the river, but you cannot force it to drink. So when the players enter the field of play, they are now to do their own bit, and they are ready to do it. So I can tell you that all of us are working together to make sure that we make Nigeria proud.
Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Well, that's your Sports 8. Back to you, Olajide.
Many thanks, Francisca. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu mourns the passing of 82-year-old Emeritus Professor Seth Sunday Ajayi, a pioneer in wildlife and fisheries management. In a statement by Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, the President notes Ajayi's work earned him global recognition, including the UNEP's Global 500 Role of Honor in 1994, Nigeria's National Order of Merit in 2013. President Tinubu extends condolences to Ajayi's family, friends, and the Nigerian environmental sciences community, praying for the repose of his soul. Meanwhile, the Serikin Hausawa of Ibadan, Alida Hero Zungeru, is dead. The late Serikin Hausawa was described as a man of impact and compassion who had the interest of his subject and indeed all at heart. Kehinde Omolosho was at the Central Mosque Sabo venue of the Janazah for the and now completes the report.
The office of the late Seriki Hausa at Sabo was filled with sympathizers who came to commiserate with the family of the deceased, then followed the janaza at the Sabo Central Mosque, Ibadan. The late Seriki Hausa played a vital role in promoting peace, understanding and cooperation among the Hausa community and other ethnic groups in the country.
He brought so many things to our area in terms of good relationship between we and the Yorubas.
He's a community man, very friendly, very respectful, a good leader.
He's a good man, good leader. Always he calls us and he called the chiefs to do a good stability and good justice.
A very simplicity and religious, a very focused and patient human being. We lost an icon.
He was a father to everybody. The whole Hausa community will miss that fathership role.
Appointed as Seriki Hausa 4 years ago, the late Alhaji Daidu Zungeru served with distinction, earning the admiration and respect of his peers, community members, and other ethnic and religious backgrounds. Though his passing leaves a void in the Hausa community, his memory and impact will continue to guide future generations. Kehinde Omolosho, NTA News.
And that's it on the network news. Many thanks for being a part of it. I am Olajide Bello.